Hey guys, it's Ingo. Just got home, cooled down a little bit in the water hose. I wanted to talk to you guys about my diet and why I'm switching to raw vegan again after doing it for like a half a year. So I've been through a lot of different diets. At first I didn't care. I'd go to work, I'd eat KFC, you know, whatever, McDonald's, just crap food, and I felt bad. I didn't realize at that time how good I could actually feel. My coworkers probably are the ones that inspired me, especially one of them. Um, he was like, dude, you gotta put some fresh stuff in your body. You can't just eat that cooked, hydrogenated, fried stuff anymore. You're losing your power. It's actually killing you. It's feeding you temporarily, but it's killing you in the long run. So I eventually listened to him after about 3 months. I started going to Jason's Deli, getting their taco salad with the chicken chili and the little blue corn chips. It was pretty good, and when I first had it, I was like, whoa, I do feel a lot of energy. I can actually make it through work now. So that was pretty cool. So I kind of started getting more interested in it because I actually started feeling better. I was into a lot of bad stuff back in the day, so this kind of pulled me out of it once I started realizing that what I put in my body is what I am. So, I started off just playing around with it. We went, kind of fruitarian a little bit during the day, eating like watermelons, strawberries, alfalfa sprouts, herbs, doing the herbal thing, like Taoism, like taking herbs to reach enlightenment and stuff like that. And I felt great. And we were taking supplements. We started working out. I started working out a lot. Test boosters and just flying high, drinking a bunch of B12 energy drinks, and you're just like, oh wow, what the heck is going on? I'm not even consciously here. So that's what really started getting me into diet and the proper way of eating. And so I started dabbling more into it. I would still eat like eggs and toast and butter at night after just eating a bunch of raw fruit during the day, and then I would always in the morning just be detoxing and feeling so bad. I'm shaking and what's going on? But then after that I'd feel a lot better, and I kind of remembered that. So I went gluten free, I went grain free at one point, and it lifted a whole thing off of me, and I was like, wow, these grains are high carbohydrate. It takes a lot for your body to process complex carbs. You have to produce certain enzymes for them to break them down. It's packed full of a lot of energy. You'd either have to be taking steroids or just a super athlete training nonstop. And I started realizing stuff like that, so I did cut the grains. I cut a lot of carbs. I started feeling a lot better. Neoma, she had to. Her stomach acid was bad. She was taking Prilosec. Her doctor told her to double it up, which is ridiculous. So, we found a solution that my coworker actually suggested that him and his wife were doing. So, started doing that. That worked out really well for us. And then after that, I was kind of I'm tapering off, I feel pretty good, but what's next? So then I went paleo, and so I was just eating meat and vegetables, raw vegetables. I know they say you can eat cooked vegetables on paleo, and I think paleo is the same as keto pretty much. It's just, I don't know really you're burning fat. You're basically reverting over to fat. Your number one fuel source is always glycogen, which is carbohydrate, sugars, That's your fuel tank for your cells. That's number one. Once you deplete those, then your body starts burning fat. But you can only establish ketosis until your carbohydrates burn. So then I went like basically just meat and raw vegetables, and I did feel great. I leaned up a lot. I had like a consistent normal energy that was like good, and every meal was like I could feel the energy going through me, and it was great and stuff. And then I did that for about a year, and I saw What the Health. I started listening to John Rose on YouTube. He was great. I started listening to Joey Carbstrong and vegan activists about animal cruelty and the industry and what's going on, and cholesterol, diabetes. America's the number one death by heart failure on any type. Diabetes and other diseases associated with cholesterol and saturated fat from animal products. So I'm thinking like, oh wow, I look good, but are my insides good? My body's living off of fat and cholesterol. Like what's going on? Eventually I started tapering off that, and I was like, I'm not feeling so good. So that's by that time Neoma went vegan. My brother's girlfriend went vegan. She loved it. She talked about it for a while, and the first thing that got me was What the Health, and I was like, oh my god, what the hell? And after that, I didn't just go vegan. I went raw vegan. I quit the meat, and it was hard. I had a few relapses. I had a chicken sandwich from Shake Shack, and I just felt like, ugh. And all my other coworkers are like, oh yeah, it's so good. And I'm like, yeah, it's good, but I feel like shit. And after they're done eating, they just want to take a nap. And so do I. So I decided to get the mushroom burger, but it was filled with cheese, but whatever. And I felt so much better. And when they were done eating lunch, they were like out of it. I could tell their eyes were just sagging low and did not feel good. And they want to, of course the food's good, it's addicting, and it's like a drug, and is it worth 4 minutes of pleasure to experience 50% of your digestive tract working full time to process that food? So part of me is like, I'm just done with this. And I already went through the fruitarian thing, so I was kind of used to how it felt, because I was just pumped. Watermelon juice in the morning, I drink pineapple juice or orange juice, eat some bananas, eat some dates, eat an alfalfa sprout salad with avocado, with a little bit of salad dressing, chop up some strawberries, eat that for lunch, and then go home and just munch on whatever. There's so many raw vegan options out there, it's ridiculous. And you never get full. And people are addicted to that full feeling, and I am too. And you want to be oh, I just want to pass out now, like Thanksgiving. But that's not how people should be. It's kind of like shooting up heroin, and I want to just chill now. And it's like, is that really how you want to feel, or do you want to just be energized and feel good? And once you get up in the morning, you just get right up, instead of just being all groggy and you're processing the food. And it takes 3 days for animal products to go through your colon. It's ridiculous. So if people are eating a McMuffin for breakfast with sausage, egg, cheese, then for lunch they're having they brought lunch, they're having a ham or turkey sandwich with, I put some lettuce on it, tomato, but you put mayonnaise with egg in it, the bread's got egg. You're probably eating a treat with butter in it or something. So I started really paying more attention to that. and just kind of feeling what my body feels. And that first week that I decided to officially quit eating all animal products, including meat, it wasn't just that. I quit eating cooked food. And cooked food, that is just as addicting as animal products. It's like, just try quitting eating, pasta and rice and potatoes and stuff like that. They say it's easier to it's easier to it's easier to change a man's religion than it is his diet. And I believe that 100%, because no one's willing to admit or sacrifice that pleasure that they experience when they eat the food, but they don't realize that that's actually going to be the death of them at some point, and it's going to cause diseases. It's going to cause all sorts of climactic things that end up being detrimental to their health. Arthritis, diabetes, heart disease, any sort of neurological disease, all sorts of cancers. You're just setting yourself up for an acidic environment. And I'm not here to judge anyone. I'm here to speak how I feel. And I'm just telling you guys, through going through gluten-free, paleo, fruitarian, vegan, raw vegan, the best I ever felt was raw vegan. Hands down, the best I ever felt was raw vegan. And I quit because I got sucked back into the cooked food. It's like a drug. And I had endless energy. I had every vitamin and mineral I ever needed. I downloaded Chronometer. Chronometer is a great app. I would definitely suggest it. Like, if you want to take count of what you do and what you're consuming and how many minerals you're having, like, it is the number one thing that you should have. It's kind of like your arsenal that's telling you, like, what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong, and what you need and what you have too much of. So I would definitely download that. I wouldn't be afraid of what you put in your body. Our body is like meant to endure. We can eat whatever we want. You can eat some shit and survive. It doesn't mean it's good for you. So the whole medical society and the pharmaceutical industry and the agriculture industry and the FDA and the CDC, they're all in on it to try to make money off you, and they want you to slowly die. They don't want to kill you because they want to make as much money off you as they can while they're keeping you at a low level. So when I started raw vegan, I was sold right off the bat. I was sprouting lentils. I get plenty of protein. The whole protein thing's BS. Like, I was fit, high energy, happy, just goosebumps everywhere. I was a part of nature. I was very connected. What John Rose calls is, he calls it biophotons, and it's like your fifth sense. It's like the fifth sense, or the sixth sense, kind of, like, that everyone's missing because they're not getting raw vegetables in their body and raw fruits. They're cooking it all. He says you put the flame on the food and the food incinerates you. And that stuff sticks to your colon over decades. Some people have, like, buildup in their stomach for a long time. And there's a buildup in your colon that keeps building up, and it creates an acidic environment, and that's how people have, like, digestive issues. They have polyps, which eventually turns to diverticulitis, and the doctor will just give you medication instead of telling you, like, dude, you need to lay off the meat, the cooked food, which sticks to your colon. It creates an acidic environment, starts burning holes in your gut. That's all there is to it. And then you get holes in your cavities. Then all of a sudden your food starts leaking out of your gut, and it goes into your bloodstream and poisons you. And no, none of your doctors want to tell you that. You pay them good money so they can kill you, basically. And I know it's a lot to take in. It's pretty hard, but I've learned this over time, and it's taken about 8 years for me to realize that everything is backwards, and fruit's not just for a dessert. It's like your essential need. You know, we have hands so we can pick fruit. We produce taurine. We don't produce vitamin C. Cats produce vitamin C, they don't produce taurine. So, where do you get taurine from? From animal products. Cats need to eat animal products. Humans don't. Humans do need to eat fruits and vegetables. Well, I'm telling you reasons why I'm going back to raw vegan. I am not happy with my diet right now. I love eating Chinese food. I love sesame tofu. You know, I'm still vegan. That doesn't mean there's healthy vegans out there. So don't get me wrong. Like, just because you're vegan doesn't mean you're healthy. You need to eat whole foods, like real foods. You need to eat raw foods, just like it was provided, just like it was grown straight out of the ground. Natural. That's natural. I mean, everything is natural. Cocaine's natural. Came from a cocoa leaf. Heroin's natural. It came from opium. Doesn't mean it's freaking good for you. Why don't you take it from the source? The way that God intended, you know? It's all backwards. And I could, this is my testimonial because I know for a fact that eating raw whole foods is the only way. Grains are meant for cows. Cows weigh 1,000 pounds. They need all of that concentrated sugar. Complex carbohydrates is what they call it, you know. Even grains, any grain that's gluten-free, it doesn't matter. It's complex. Your body has to produce enzymes. It has to work hard to extract that little pocket of energy, and there's so much energy coming out, you're only burning a certain amount. Where does the rest go? It gets stored into fat. So everyone's just like, yeah, rice, grains, like, yeah, I'm eating my, you know, I'm getting my protein now, my meat, you know. And it's like, diabetes is not from sugar initially. Diabetes comes from clogged arteries, from cholesterol. When your arteries are clogged, they can't convert the sugar that's flowing through your body into glycogen, because your insulin is the cholesterol is blocking your insulin receptors from converting the sugar into glycogen. And glycogen is the usable energy source that your cells need to survive. So that's why there's so many people with diabetes, because of all the cholesterol. Why do you think 1 million people every year are having their gallbladders removed? Because it's filled with gallstones. You know what gallstones are? Pure cholesterol. Neoma flushed out like 200. I had to put a rubber glove on and pick at it. It feels like the yolk from an egg. That's what cholesterol is. And just think that yolk from the egg, it sticks to your arteries. And it's hard to get rid of it, because only like 5% of people actually create like the hormone that regulates their LDL, and they can actually like process it normal. Only 5% of people. Everyone else is screwed pretty much. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with eating meat. You know, I do believe in the sanctity of living creatures and everything. But back in the day, you think that freaking, you know, people like goat herders were just eating goats daily or 3 times daily? No, they're probably eating that stuff every once in a while. You know, most of the time they're eating like leavened bread and a lot of fruits and vegetables. So everybody, this is a recap on the last video I just made. I want to close it out with just letting you know, like, I really appreciate all your views. There's a lot to talk about. I know it's like 20 minutes and I kind of feel like, oh my gosh, like, it's a lot, but I'm very passionate about what I do. If you like this video, please subscribe, please hit the like button. I'm gonna have a lot more to come, and I want all of you guys to be interested in what I say. It means a lot to me, and I feel like if I can get the word around, you know, maybe you guys can learn a little bit of something, and I can learn a little bit of something too if you leave a little bit of comments. And I'll always read your comments, and I'm always open-minded, so don't be afraid to speak your opinion. I really appreciate it, guys, and I thank you so much. Good night.